There are a variety of different kinds of background concepts you need to be aware of as we get ready to explore the different things that we're going to learn about in acid-base chemistry. In the notes, I usually refer to these things as timeouts, just places where you go where I give you some background information that's going to help you understand the vocabulary of what's going to be coming. So, for example, I had a timeout earlier where I taught you about pH, if you'll remember. We had that in a previous lecture. I had a timeout earlier where I talked to you about the different types of acids. You know, whether we had Lewis acids or Arrhenius acids or Bronsted acids. I had a timeout earlier where I talked to you about exponent math. Well, we're going to have a few more timeouts that are going to come up in different segments here. That are going to help to prepare you for acid-base chemistry. One of the timeouts is going to be where we talk about the difference between a strong and a weak acid or base, what that actually refers to. Another timeout is going to be one in which we talk about something called a spectator ion. And finally, we're going to have a timeout in which I give you an idea about some of the different sorts of symbols to represent acids and bases. Armed with these as tools, it will make an understanding of the language of what I'm going to be teaching you moving forward much easier to follow. So do appreciate that these concepts right here are absolutely essential foundational or background notions, where if you don't have this part down, then you're simply not going to be able to do the problems moving forward. If you find yourself struggling later on working acid-base problems, the truth is, acid-base problems are not hard problems to work if you understand the vocabulary. But if you can't look up at me and rattle off all the strong acids or all the weak acids, all the strong bases or weak bases, if you can't immediately tell me what ions are spectator ions and don't participate, if you can't immediately come up with a way to represent acids and bases when you see them with appropriate symbols so that you can do things like perform neutralization reactions effortlessly, if you cannot do these things, then you're simply not going to be able to solve acid-base problems. So just remember this conversation here. Remember this moment here. If in about 7 lectures, when you're trying to do some great big hairy problem where I'm throwing a bunch of stuff in solution and you are utterly lost and you don't know why and can't understand it, it's because this part isn't grounded in you. And I guarantee you, if at that moment you can't immediately rattle off all the spectators or rattle off all of the strong acids, you aren't ready to work the more sophisticated problems.